From conflict to crisis, the Israel-Iran war and its economic ramifications. Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the world's most pressing issues and their impact on our daily lives. Today, we will be examining the long-standing conflict between Israel and Iran and how it has evolved into a full-blown crisis with far-reaching economic consequences. Join us as we unravel the complexities of this conflict and explore its implications for the global economy. The Israel-Iran conflict dates back to the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979, which led to a radical shift in the country's foreign policy towards Israel. The two countries have since been engaged in a proxy war, with Iran supporting militant groups hostile to Israel, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. Number 5. The economic fallout of the Gaza conflict for Iran. Iran's already fragile economy, which is marked by high inflation, decreased government revenue, and currency devaluation, is significantly impacted by the Gaza-Israel conflict. Number 4. Economic growth. Iran's ambitions to prosper economically are hampered by its engagement in the regional conflict, which also lowers the value of the Iranian rial and lowers government revenue. It has also made economic issues like inflation, declining oil exports, and slower GDP growth worse. Number 3. Fears of a broader war involving Iran are directly responsible for the rial's decline in value. An already high rate of capital flight is exacerbated when domestic investors hedge their risks by purchasing US dollars and other currencies, some of which are shipped overseas. Iranian leaders have made repeated claims that they will not become involved in a wider regional battle, but their proxy armed organizations are still provoking Israel and or the US to the point where a direct clash is possible. This might interfere with shipping across the Strait of Hormuz, which would impact the flow of oil. The Middle East's logistics and supply chain sector is greatly impacted by the Gaza conflict, with concerns about rising freight prices, irregular delivery timetables, and shipping bottlenecks that could interrupt the flow of resources and goods. Number 2. Conflict confined to Gaza. In 2014, a ground invasion of Gaza that claimed over 2,000 lives began when Hamas abducted and killed 3 Israelis. The conflict remained contained to Palestinian territory, and it had little effect on oil prices or the world economy. Already, there have been more deaths in the last week. Nonetheless, a scenario in which the present crisis continues in the same terrible manner, while U.S. restrictions on Iran's oil exports are strictly enforced, is conceivable. With the thawing of relations with the U.S. indicated by prisoner exchanges and asset unfreezing, Tehran has increased its oil output by as much as 700,000 barrels per day this year. Oil prices might rise by $3 to $4, according to Bloomberg Economics, if those barrels are removed due to pressure from the U.S. In this case, there would be very little effect on the world economy, particularly if Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates used their excess capacity to balance the loss of Iranian barrels. Number 1. Proxy war. The conflict would essentially become a proxy war between Iran and Israel if it extended to Lebanon and Syria, where Iran also provides backing to armed groups. This would result in increased economic costs. The former deputy chief of staff of the Israeli military, Yair Golan, states that Iran and Hezbollah are monitoring and assessing the situation. If Hezbollah decides to join the campaign, it might happen after a ground operation in Gaza starts. When Iran entered Israeli territory, the Middle East crisis, which had started on October 7, took a new turn. Following several days of heightened tensions, following the purported Israeli attack on the Iranian consulate in Damascus on April 1, Tehran retaliated last weekend by launching over 320 ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones into Israeli airspace. About 99% of them were successfully intercepted by Israel, with very few of them striking the ground and resulting in minimal damage. Only one person has been gravely hurt. There has seldom been such a high level of anxiety between the two nations. However, Because the future moves and the potential effects of a further escalation on Gaza and beyond are uncertain, the confrontation concerns not only the Tel Aviv-Tehran area but the entire region. As the Israel-Iran war rages on, it is clear that the economic ramifications of this conflict will be felt far and wide. From rising oil prices to jittery financial markets, the fallout from this crisis is already being felt around the world. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing situation, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on current events. Thank you for watching.